Hey everyone, Uncle Wilson here. You know that leftover rice? The one that has been left in the fridge for a couple days? You know, that old dried rice that is no longer edible? While there are a couple ways to revive the rice, such as by microwaving it with a couple of spoonfuls of water for a couple minutes, old leftover rice is perfect for making fried rice. Making fried rice out of leftovers is a very easy method of turning last night's takeout into something even better. This recipe is very simple, and even those without prior experience cooking could make it. To create this dish, all you're going to need is a plate of leftover rice, which could be recreated by putting fresh rice in a freezer for about half an hour, any kind of meat, leftover or fresh, 2 eggs, half an onion, 2 garlic cloves, meaning a wedge of a garlic, some soy sauce, some oil to fry the rice, and some frozen vegetables, such as peas. Now the first thing to do is to cut up all the ingredients. So you don't have to do more dishes, you could just use one chopping board, but make sure that you cut the vegetables before you cut any meat. Just make sure you thoroughly clean the chopping board after. The first thing we're going to chop is the onions. Start by cutting the base of the onion, and then turn the onion upright and cut the onion in half by cutting through its head downwards. We only need one half, so save the other one for later. Peel the papery layers off the onion by grabbing it from the top like so. Discard the peels in the nearest trash can. Slice the onion vertically from one end to another. Also, it is important that you use a chopping board, as cutting directly on the countertop will damage both your countertop and knife. When you're done cutting the onion into long vertical strips, bunch them up together and turn them 90 degrees sideways. While holding the strips together, cut it like so, effectively dicing the onions. Continue to do this until all the onions are diced. When you're done, slide the onions onto a plate, using a knife to do so. The next thing we're going to chop is the garlic. Start by using your knife and body weight to crush the garlic like so. By doing this, you could easily remove the garlic peel. The next thing you want to do is to cut away the brown top part of the garlic and discard it. Repeat with the other clove. Now bunch the garlic cloves together and start chopping it. One method of finally chopping the garlic is to hold the end of the knife with your support hand and pivot it around like so. Once you're done, slide the garlic onto the plate. Now we're going to start cutting the meat. Slice the chicken into long finger-sized strips. And then bunch them up together and turn them 90 degrees sideways. While holding the strips together, cut it into cubes. When you're done, leave it on the chopping board. The next thing you're going to do is to crack 2 eggs into a bowl and beat it. To crack an egg, hit the corner of the bowl onto the middle of the egg and pull the 2 halves against each other. To whisk the eggs, break the egg yolks using a fork and swish your fork back and forth until the 2 parts are mixed together. Now is the fun part. Take out a frying pan and turn the stove on to a medium-high heat. A wok would ideally be better for making fried rice, but most of us do not own woks. Once the pan is hot, pour in a little bit of oil onto the pan, and then add the onions and garlic. Continue to saute the onions until it starts to turn brown and translucent. Add the chicken and then pour a little bit of soy sauce. You'll want to stir around the ingredients so that it doesn't stick to the pan and the soy sauce is spread out evenly. Continue to stir until the chicken turns brown. This is going to take around a minute. Add the eggs and keep stirring so that the eggs do not stick together. Add in about 1/3 cup of green peas and continue to stir. Since frozen peas are already cooked in a factory, just cook it till it melts. Add in the rice, then add a little bit more of soy sauce. Continue stirring till the rice turns brown. This is going to take around 2 minutes. When it's done, turn off the stove and pour the rice onto a plate. Just a word of caution, do not put the sizzling hot frying pan in the sink. Leave it to cool down first on the stove. Doing so would deform or crack the pan. And now, you've simply created your own fried rice. You can add more variation to this by adding different ingredients, different leftovers, or anything like that to make your own variation. What I like about fried rice is that you can do whatever you want with it. You can add more ingredients, add more different leftovers, or cook it longer, add more eggs or whatever, and everything will be fine. Now, the best way to find out what you like is by experimenting. And that is all I have to say for today.